Oh man, it feels good to be back home. But man, as soon as I got here, I was wiped out and just crashed. Had to take a nap. Drove from Texas to Alabama to North Carolina. On the way here, it was just like, oh man, stay awake. Normally I have you as my driver to help me out. Not that you're the driver the whole time. We kind of take turns. When I get tired, I can just say, all right, Tag, it's your turn to go in and drive. But we didn't have that this time coming back from camp. So there were some points where I was just feeling it. I was like, ugh. And so I was like, why don't we crank up some music and get some energy in here? And that really helped that last part of the drive. But I was really looking forward to getting back and seeing you.
And Micah too, right?
Yes, and Micah too.
But we missed you guys a lot too.
Oh yes, glad you missed us. But we were missing you so bad, I was like, on the way back, I was like, we're doing as least amount of stops as possible, guys. Just hold it. We're getting home. Just hold it in. And then when we stop, use it. Use the bathroom.
Whether you need to or not.
Exactly.
That's our normal thing. I don't care if you don't think you need to, you're going to go try.
Exactly right. So we did it. We got back. And I was surprised. I got here and I was looking around and y'all weren't here. I was like,
we weren't here.
Where are they? Where are they?
Well, one of my friends had invited me to a fire cider making class. And we were there. And I really didn't expect you to get home as early as you did. So you just had to call me, and then I came home.
And then you came home, and then we reunited, and then we came in here and crashed for a nap. So thank you for laying down and taking a nap with me. It's probably about the time that you've been taking a nap anyways with being pregnant, right?
Because I was tired when I got home. Because I told my friend, I was like, I gotta go.
Your pregnancy nap, gotta get on to it.
Well, that's what my time clock was like nap time. That's what it was saying.
And it's not just from the travel that had me beat. It's from camp, man. It was just super busy with activity after activity after activity going. And one of the things that we did that was really neat is we did this team survival type challenge, and it was really neat. And one of the things that they did, one of the challenges is the team had to swim across the lake on this huge mat working together. Everyone had to swim across the lake with the mat, and then from there they had to go into a canoe and go around and gather these different buoys or whatever that they were doing, and then they had to put the puzzles together. And it was really neat seeing Josiah working with his team and Sailor working with his team, and I had the opportunity to participate too. It was pretty fun. And another one was they had this fire starting challenge where they had to use flint to start a fire. I was like, oh man, that's kind of like our off-grid type stuff going on right there. And then they had this other event that was really neat. I think this was my favorite one. It was this food challenge where they had to eat an item and then they had to go to the slingshot. The first item, actually I think was the hardest item to eat, was just a plate full of crackers, no water. And you had to get it down. So as you're eating it, it's like, you just feel it just like swelling up in your mouth. I need some water. So for me, that was the hardest, but for a lot of people, that wasn't. There was other ones that came that were much harder. But after you got the crackers down, you had to use the slingshot with a water balloon, and you try to hit these targets. And after trying that for a time period, you came back and ate another food item. And the next food item was crickets. I think it was like coffee flavored crickets. I actually really liked them.
And you don't even like coffee.
And I actually have been looking forward to trying crickets. I never had crickets before. Have you guys had crickets? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. So I was like, yeah, I can do this. Some other people had a lot of difficulty with the crickets. I was surprised. Josiah, he impressed me. He didn't want to do it. Wasn't looking forward to doing it, but he ate them. He didn't enjoy it, but he ate them. And Sayla, she was like me. We were like, this is good. I think I could eat these on a regular basis. Tim, did you let me see that again. Did you get it down?
I'm gonna let y'all eat the crickets. You can cook them however you want.
I look forward to trying some here, some grasshoppers, some crickets, and see what they taste like. One day. But after that, we went back to shooting the water balloons with the slingshots for a certain period of time. Then we came back. And this food item was one that people really struggle with. It was anchovies. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was another one that was like, oh, no problem. Pop it in,
If you're
no
not
problem.
a fish person, I can see where that's a problem because I'm not a fish person. I can eat anchovies in stuff, but there's no part of me that wants to eat an anchovy or a sardine by itself.
Yeah, I just bloop, next. So back to the water balloons, and then back over again, and then there was some, I think it was cayenne flavored locusts, and I was like, whoa, this is good too. I was like, I can do this on a regular basis too. Back to the water balloons, and then back to the food station where the last item was honeycomb, I believe. It was like honey and honeycomb.
I can do honeycomb.
Like, that's a piece of cake. Got that down, no problem. Some people had problems with it, but out of everybody that was there, I think it was like 200 plus people, 250 almost, just shy of that. Anyways, out of that many people, it was like 16 people just couldn't handle it and just couldn't eat all the stuff. It was like, whoa, I didn't think it was that hard. Then I guess there was a couple that, like me, that really enjoyed it.
Well, there you go.
And then they had this other challenge, which was really neat. I was like, oh, this is down my alley too, where their team had to carry this big log down, I think it was 100 yards. They had to carry it 100 yards together.
Are you ready?
Yes!
Are you ready? Yeah! All right, now, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go!
And it was neat to see Josiah and his team go up against this other team and pulling the log. So that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun.
See, I think I could do the log carry. I could swim across the pond or the lake. I would probably have the toughest time with eating the anchovies for one. But the crickets and locusts, I don't know. Maybe they would be crunchy. I could just kind of convince myself it was something else.
I personally think if they would blindfolded everybody on the crickets and locusts, they would have eaten them no problem. I still think people would have struggled with the anchovies though.
Well, the smell.
Yeah, I think it's a texture thing for most people.
Well, okay.
Yeah, so speaking of blindfold, that was actually another event where we had to work together as a team. Everybody except for one person on a team was blindfolded, and we were tied together, and we had to navigate through this course, getting items based on the one person who wasn't blindfolded, yelling out commands, left, right, up, down, over the rope, under the rope, there, reach there, grab it. that was fun.
I bet it was fun. I bet that was fun.
And out of everything that happened at camp, I think for me one of the most touching things was the banquet. We had like a dinner and then a dance, and all the campers got dressed up, and it was so neat seeing the teenage boys getting dressed up, walking down to the girls' dorms, ready to escort them to the dinner. And I felt like this creepy old man as I'm getting my camera ready to record, saying that I'm getting escorted to the dance. I'm hanging out in this golf cart that I drove all over the place as I'm capturing different content and videos and pictures and things. But I was like, I want to see it. I'm a dad. I'm out there ready to get my daughter. Hold it together so you can get it. And they just all look so cute together, all nice and fancy, coming down, and the boys just being gentlemen, escorting the girls down to the dinner.
And they brought them flowers too.
They did.
Right?
They did a great job. I was really impressed with them. I was like, way to go, guys. That's the way to do it right there.
That's right.
And they brought them down. And one of the things, part of the camp is the adults, they're really focused on serving the youth and providing them a good example. So all the staff members put together a Thanksgiving-style banquet for the campers, and it was just neat. They had turkey and it's not stuffing. They didn't stuff the turkey. It's dressing. That's right. Dressing. And I think they had green beans, and they had some excellent cheesecake. They had, I think it was cherry and blueberry. The blueberry was absolutely fantastic. It all just looked really neat. They decorated the hall real nice for them. It was really a nice event. And then after the dinner, they had this dance, and it was just really classy how everyone did it, and it was just really neat. I was kind of getting emotional. I was like, oh, I was nice here to see your daughter getting escorted to this dance, and it's just beautiful. I hate that you weren't able to be there to it, and I appreciate all your sacrifices and holding down the homestead here. You did a fantastic job. Just a quick glance at everything, it looks like you just did a tremendous job, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for holding things down. I'm sorry you missed the dance and Sally's first dance. Well as I think this was the first time that we missed spending the 4th of July together, and we saw fireworks, and I'm just sitting down there with Josiah, and I felt kind of lonely, and I was like, oh man, I'm missing Lacie. This is the longest we've ever been apart. It's like almost right at 2.5 weeks. I've never been away from you that long since this whole time we've been married. It's just like,
No.
man, and stuff.
Even before we were married,
It's just,
we hadn't never been apart that long.
it's just, man, that was
Almost
tough.
20 years.
Yeah, so, man. Yep. So thank you for sacrificing and being willing to take care of things here while we were gone, so that way others could be blessed. We really
Well, you're
appreciate
welcome,
it.
but I don't think I'd have done well at camp. After being there last year, I worked in the kitchen last year, and really everybody there is moving from sun up to past sundown. And I know
it was hot. It was really hot.
Yeah, and I know
It's hot
that
here, but it was hot.
that I wouldn't have been able to hang at all like that. So I think, me staying here and you going, I think that was the best scenario or best thing for our scenario.
Yeah. Well, after all that, it's time to get back to the groove here. There's still a lot to do. You held down the fort with keeping the animals going, but there's still some other things to tend to, and
It's been
we got
raining a
going
lot
on.
and, the grass is tall.
Yeah. And with the little one on the way here, we got some things to figure out. We actually are planning to have an additional good news here, big news here, so you just have to wait and see what that is.
It's exciting and surprising.
Yeah, so has to do with expanding. We're expanding in more ways than one.
Yeah.
But now I guess you can kick back and relax, right?
When does that happen? I keep telling myself, I think all homesteaders and farmers do this. Like, in the fall, in the winter, it's going to slow down. In the fall, in the winter, it's going to slow down. I've been saying that for like 5 years straight, and it's never happened.
I think this is what homesteaders do to ourselves to kind of deceive ourselves.
Maybe that's how we get through a whole season. It's like, if I get through this season, it's going to slow down. If I get through this season, it's going to slow down.
Yeah.
And it just never slows down.
Yeah, yeah. And related to that, some have asked, why do we go on some of the trips that we do? Well, one of the things is, and it was actually something that was mentioned at camp from another speaker, and it was like, live life to the fullest. I want our kids, I want to live my life to the fullest, but I want them to live life to the fullest as well. I don't want them to feel in bondage to our homestead where they feel like they can't ever leave. I want them to have a rich, fulfilling life, yet also have the skills of producing and growing their own food and doing all the things that we do here, but also still be able to enjoy some of the funner things to do and just have a good time and grow and experience things. Because it's not a good life to live if you just feel stuck somewhere and you can't get out and experience things.
And hang out with other people too, and have their friends, and that special time, because that's just important.
Yeah, because one of my goals is not for my children to have just a bunch of just material blessings, but to have an abundant life where they have various experiences to tap into, that they can just realize that we tried to help them live life to the fullest. That's just one of my goals.
And that's what life is really about. It's not about all the things that you have. It's about the interactions, the experiences, the memories with your family and your friends, and building relationships with other people. And that's what really life is about.
Yeah.
And we really want that for ourselves and for them.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I like to encourage teenagers, but young people in general, is to get out and have these plethora of experiences, so that way when it comes time to ultimately decide what you want to do in life as a career or whatever, you have those experiences to tap into. You're not just stuck in a career and you end up like, oh man, I hate it because I didn't have a chance to actually really experience. But you have these experiences and you can look back and say, you know what, I really like this or that, and that's something I'd like to do for a long period of time.
And see what you're good at too.
Exactly right. Well, it's time to get back to work here on the homestead. All those ducks you've been taking care of, it's time to make them some duck dinners.
Yay!
We also have a meeting with the midwife coming up.
Yep.
And stay tuned for that exciting news that we alluded to earlier. We'll let you know more about that here soon.
Super exciting.
Well, it's good to be back. And somebody says that we're not affectionate enough on videos. I know it's a little weird to be affectionate on video, but oh, somebody's calling. I guess they don't want us to be affectionate either. But oh well.
Out of my mind, how could I be so awake on the floor, looking up, wanting more.